Hi everyone, welcome back to the session. So yesterday we were discussing about the API chaining. One API is depending on another API, so we call it as API chaining. So we have performed some operations also yesterday. We tried creating a resource in the server by passing a payload. And this every time if I want to enter the name and email ID, it becomes hectic job. So what I have done, I have written one pre-script. In this pre-script, what I have told, I just wrote one random string and I have created one variable test name, and it is every time it will generate one random name, and this test email every time it will generate one random email, and starting with the test name plus that random string, test email plus that random string plus Gmail, so that it will be different email. Then I have set them in the environment variable, so it is available in the environment variable where you go and set every time it will change it here. And then those names I'm accessing here, environment name and then that environment email. So every time it will create. And then I wrote one more script in the last. So what I've done, okay, whatever the response I get in that ID, I'm storing it as a environment ID. So this ID, I want to use it in the future script. Okay, when I run the script post, closing everything now. When I run the script, okay, yes, it is generating one new ID, that is 9558. And let me go and see whether that new ID is generated. Look at the name 251A and 251A at gmail.com. Let me see here. Yes, 251A at gmail.com, and that 558 is the ID. And now I'll go to the next request. I'm passing here now. I'm accessing that particular, I'm fetching a data of particular ID. So I want to fetch it. And I wrote one script. I'm validating whether whatever the output I'm getting in the response, is it equal to the same ID or not? So this is a comparison. And here, what I'm trying to verify that, okay, I am checking the name, whatever I'm getting it in the response, is it equal to same name which is present here? Test name, same name or not? I'm going to verify. Similarly, I want to verify the email. Whatever email I have it here, whatever response I'm getting, is it equal to environment name or that email, whatever I have set here? When I run the script, yes, it is passed because it is doing a comparison. Everything is correct. So this is about get request. Now I'll go to put request. Same user, I want to update some details. For example, you want to update the details. You can change it here and run. It gets updated. It gets updated. So we use this. And every time when you want to access this, make sure you are having an authorization. You have to choose a bearer token, and then you can access that API. So authorization means, I'm telling you, authorization means without permission, you cannot access. Now here I have chosen bearer token. This token ID is generated by, it is given by your developer. You have to use it and you can access this. Otherwise, you cannot perform the testing. And similarly, patch. I want to update partial data. Okay, let us say same user, whatever I created in the server, I want to update partial data, like say gender and status. If you look at the beginning stage, the response, gender is female and status is active. Now I want to change it, patch. Whatever the data you created in the server, same ID, and I want to change male and inactive. When I say send, see, this changed the male and inactive, same ID, same name. So you can change you can update the partial data. And then delete. I want to delete this particular ID, whatever I created. After deleting, I'll get 204. Fine. But still, this data will remains here. I don't want this data. I want to remove this. So what I'm writing one script. This is post script. After running this postman, I'm telling postman.environment.unset. Delete that environment ID, environment email, environment name, everything. When I run this, I'll get 204 here. Yes, no content. And if you go and see here, there is no environment, ID, email, and name. Nothing is there. So this is how you can perform API chaining. If you want to run the entire collection, yes, you can run it here. Run the collection. Yes. Okay. I'll go to the console. I'll clear everything. Now run. Perfect. See, and you'll see the test result. All the 3 tests pass. This you are seeing because you have written it in the get method. Here you have written script. No, that's the reason you were able to see that. And you can see a 201, 200, 200, 200, 204. And you can go and check here each and everything. Whatever you updated in the response body, if you want to check. This is a request body. You are saying female and active. Which one is this status? Sorry, this one patch. Patch. You want to update it as a request body. You're saying male and inactive, and you see the response body. Yes, male and inactive, same ID. It is updated. New ID, see 559. Earlier 558. So every time it will be generating a new ID. You're performing an operation. So this is how the API chaining concept works. Okay, this data I will send it to you. This collection you can use it for your practice purpose. The next concept is API authorization. So if I want to access this API, you have to go to authorization. So there are multiple types of authorization, like say no auth, basic auth, bearer token, JWT. So depends on the application to application. Your developer will use anyone. Your whatever architect informs, accordingly the developer you will use anyone. So if they are using basic auth, you have to pass username and password every time to access any API. If you're using no auth, nothing is required. If you say digit authorization or say OAuth 2.0, then here you need to pass the token also. You need to pass the token. Now I'll show you one sample. Okay, so let me take an example of QC17 batch, which I thought API authorization. Yes, I've done it here. For example, Postman, I want to log in. So this Postman, I want to log in. So this is a get method. I want to fetch the details. I will use basic auth. Okay, I'm using Postman and password PASSWORD. If I enter the wrong details, wrong password, click on send. See, I'm getting unauthorized. If I enter the valid detail, then only I can access. Save and send. See, authentication to authenticated true. Then only I can access. Otherwise, I cannot access. That is what is authorization. For example, I want to get the weather information. I want to get the weather information of Delhi. If I go here, authorization, API key, I have to use this key and this value and query parameter. If I don't use, it will not work. And then click on send, I will get the weather information of Delhi. Okay, so you look at here, city Delhi, and say country India, and then time zone, and then look at here, the sunrise, sunset. Okay, now sir, what is this time? If you take this time and you can convert, it is in the epoch converter. If you see here, epoch time converter. If I take the time and I'll paste here, check. See, today Wednesday, May 15, 12:18, 12:18. Okay, if you see here, your time zone, 5:30, 18 a.m. That's a sunrise. Sunset, temperature, minimum, maximum, all these details it will give you. This is an API. Now, I want to create one separate data. For example, here, let us say I want to go to GitHub. There is an account called GitHub. I have this account. I want to sign in. So when you're learning coding, there I'll teach you this GitHub. Okay, now I want to create this separate repository. If I click on new, yes, I can create a repository. I can enter the name. I don't want to do it manually. Okay, like this. Okay, each and every repository where I can push my code. If I come back and see, earlier when I was working in a previous company, I used to push my code. If you see here, person go to API author. Okay, so I have pushed my code. All the codes are available here. Go inside BDD framework. You can see the codes. There are many codes files I have written here. Payload.py. See the code, whatever I have written, I have pushed it here. So this is a centralized repository where I can manage our code. Similarly, if I see the PyTest code and see Selenium basic commands, I've written many files here, Python files. So here, data-driven testing. I've written all the code. Everything is available here, all the codes. So I want to manage this code. So that's the reason I create a GitHub. It's a cloud storage repository. What I want to do, I want to create your batch. So your batch is QC18. So do I have any QC18? Let me see. Is there any QC18 repository? Is there any QC18 here? No, right? Are you able to see anything? QC18?
No.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Create new repository. Let's go here. Okay, authorize. Okay, first I'll go here. I'll pass the body. Okay, QC18 API testing. I want to give the repository name, description repo create, and then I have to pass the authorization. So I have to choose this bearer token. I need to pass this token. If I try this way, see, it is throwing you an error. Unauthorized, required authentication. What I'll do now, I'll go here. I will generate my authentication. Go here. I'll generate one token key. Settings. I want to give an access. Go here. Developer settings. Personal access token. Okay. Earlier I generated long back, last 2 months ago. I want to delete this. Okay. Delete. Now I want to generate new token. Generate a new token. Okay, when you're generating, you should give access. Okay, I want to create a repository. Everything I will give an access. I can do anything. Admin access, admin, super admin, everything I'm giving. Delete the repository, everything, all the access I'm giving. Okay. So you can give a validity 7 days. After 7 days, it will expire, and you can give a note for API testing. So now I'll generate. Yes, it is generated a token. I'm taking this token, copy this. Now I'll go here. I'll paste this token, save it. Now let me try here. Send. Wow, perfect. 201. It is created. Look at here. One ID got generated. It is created. Now go to this repository and see whether it is created or not. QC18 practice. Are you able to see that? Updated now. If you see here, you can see that time. If you go to other one, it is showing you updated on March 27th. But if you see this QC18 updated now, are you able to see that repository?
Yes.
Still, if you want to create QC20, let's try that. QC20, just go here, change it. You cannot create a duplicate one. If you try to create, what happens here, it will throw you an error. Repository creation failed because repository name already exists in the account. Change the name. Let us say I want to say QC100. Save and send. Wow, perfect. I created QC100 API practice. Go here and check. QC100. Let me refresh this. Are you able to see that QC100 now?
Yes.
Yes.
So this is how the API works from the backend. This is how the API works. So I will share this to you and I will delete this token. I don't want to give it to you because it's my account. You create your own GitHub account and you can try create it. So this API authorization, let me download, export to desktop. Okay, this is one, I'll send it to you. And then next to QC18, I want to export this API chaining. API chaining also, this one, export. I'll send it to you, this one. So this is all about authorization. Same thing. Authorization means without that permission, you cannot perform the activity. There are multiple types of authorization. Is there? According to your project Specification, your developer only will tell. Your developer only will give you the token if they're using bearer token or basic authorization, username and password, or digit authorization, or OAuth 1.0. These are all different types of authorization. Okay. So let me share these details to you. WhatsApp. And I've shared the interview questions also. Please go through those questions. And desktop. These collections, I'll send it to you. You can import it. Okay, I've shared these collections. Okay, so this is about API chaining and API authorization. Next, very, very important, how to write API test cases. I'll give some sample file to write API test cases. Where is API test cases? Okay, I have written some test cases here. How to write API test? You already know how to write it, but from API point of view, how to write? Look at here. First, test case ID, then endpoint. Endpoint means that base URL, and then HTTP method, which method you are testing, get method, and URI, uniform resource indicator, that particular resource details, get method, that entire URI. For get method, will you pass payload or no? Quick answer. No, you're not going to pass anything. Okay. And after hitting a send button in the get method, what you should get? What you should get after hitting a send method in this get? What should be your response?
Body.
What you should get? Response body, right?
Yes.
You should get the response body. So that it should return the list of data, whatever you want, successful response. If it is failed, you need to write that also. And then, okay, you need to write the status code, which status code you should get. And then you can write a comment like query parameter, path parameter if you're using in that URI. This is exceptional. If you want to write the script, you can write it or you can skip it. Similarly, you can take it for REQ, RES. You can take it for other one, get method or post method. And in the post method, you need to pass the body and then success response. What you should get? You should return back with details, whatever you created with ID if required, because not every API will return ID. Some will get successfully created, like that different output will get it according to your company standards. You can perform for delete, post, put, patch. So this is how you can write the test cases. I'll send it to you. You can write it for patch and put. I have not written here. So let me share this file to you guys. This is how you can write API test cases. This completes your API testing. From tomorrow onwards, I am going to start a mobile application same time. Instead of taking on the weekends, theory part. Mobile application. Mobile application testing. Seven, 2, 8, 7. Okay, fine, guys. Thank you all. API testing is completed. I have shared the interview questions also. Please go through that. Whatever I covered in the class, same thing is there in the interview questions also. Once your project class is, one project is completed, one project complete aide nilva nimge?
No, not yet completed.
Okay. Any idea when she's going to complete?
I think another 2-3 days we should be completing one project.
Fine. Once you complete one project, then she'll start the second project. After that, I'm going to take a project grooming session. In that, I will guide you what project you need to put, how to speak in front of interviewer, how to explain your project, what kind of questions they're going to ask, how you need to answer. That grooming session, I'll take it in the next week, I guess. Okay, I'll stop the recording.